Okay, this is how everything in our physical reality works. There's a magnetic field. So you have a field around here. This is called the dielectric plane. This is where, or the accretion disk, this is where matter is generated. From this point, coming from the ether, there are things flowing outward, inward. As that's happening, there is a spinning. In this disc. So this forms like a narrow disc. I kind of made it round there, but like a narrow disc. Spinning. Imagine if this board was 3D. This would be spinning. Imagine a Milky Way galaxy. As that's happening, it's creating ripples in the ether, or bubbles. These are different frequency levels. I have a really good video. Hopefully I'll splice it in here, but if not, I'll give you a quick synopsis. There's a way to levitate styrofoam balls with ultrasonic sound bouncing off of a plate and then a plate above it. So more appropriate would be like here, back up. You will have levels. So it'll be like scalar waves. Huh. That would make sense if the Earth really is a dome, like the Bible says, like ancient writings say, like all the people who are ridiculed, called flat earthers, say. And actually it would fit because it's the opposite of what we know out of balance ego is telling us, that the Earth is round, NASA and things like that. We know for a fact they're lying about the ether, or they're saying lack thereof, calling space a vacuum. So we know that's a huge lie. So this is still in their realm of potential. So back to what I was talking about, ultrasonic sound. The waves would be going up and down, bouncing off here, which is actually how scalar waves form. There's waves across the Earth like this. They're called scalar waves. Look them up if you'd like. Studying the Bosnian pyramid, I've seen people actually take photographs of scalar waves. And basically what it's saying is there are different frequency levels. So this is like 5 hertz, 6, 7, 8. So if you're an object with a magnetic field around it, because all matter has to come from the ether and immerse out into this reality like a bloop, 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 bloop. It literally flickers in and off. Look it up. I've heard 22 trillion, well, 44 technically trillion total. 22 trillion outward, masculine, 22 trillion inward, feminine, a second. So that's, literally, so look at our TVs. We think we see a movie moving and it looks, or this video even, you see my hand moving around, but it's actually doing a certain amount of frames, a certain amount of frames moving at a certain pace to make you see my hand move fluidly, like as if you're watching in reality. And then we know that the faster, the more amount of frames, the better visual you have. So imagine 44,000 frames gives you this reality that we see. I don't know who said that. I've heard from Cliff High, from his channel, that it's 44 trillion, and I've also heard it multiple times before him. Did I count? No. And I haven't seen it in some ancient book yet. But I do know from ancient books and from ancient writings and ancient teachings around the world that this is vibration, everything. My hand is vibration. This chalk is another vibration. This metal here is vibration. So is this wood. What makes the difference between chalk, metal, hand, and wood? Yes, you'll say molecules. Yes, you'll say one's wood, one's steel. The molecules are combined tighter. There's a more potent energy in the torus field of whatever matter it is. So if it's a wood atom, we know So think of like in grade school and high school, we're talking about physics. You count the atoms. So hydrogen has one electron, one proton. So imagine the amount of electrons, the vibration gives you wood, or gives you steel, or gives you flesh. They're all vibrating at different pace. So when you know that this is what matter looks like coming out of the ether, bloop, 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 44 trillion times a second. So it doesn't even, it's not like bloop, bloop. There are meditation, people who've gone in deep meditation, myself included, who have heard, we hear a sound. I hear it. I know what I hear. I don't know what anyone else hears. But many people report this, that you can hear the ether, the hum, the vibration of it. So everything's resonance. So with that being said, we know the earth has scalar waves, and there are different harmonics, different resonances. We also know that there are ships. The U.S. government's going to probably admit it soon. They've somewhat admitted it, but from what people are saying, they're going to be admitting it very soon. There are ships that can move from here to here to here in a fraction of a second on different harmonics. They are literally magnetized with the ether. They are locked in to a certain resonance using things like gold, silver, copper, a pure, 100% pure elements. We're publicly, we get 99.9. We don't get 100% pure. I'm pretty sure with a certain resonance frequency pattern, you can get that to 100%, and then add mercury and other things and create a vortex. You can actually create a resonance field around a ship, which would lock you into that ether and allow you to move through the scalar waves that are everywhere in the ether. So you could move around this planet, very fast, versus a ship that has to go, slow on certain patterns that, a propeller plane, a jet plane, a rocket, they couldn't, according to our physics too, and according to it's not real physics in my opinion. It's the parasitic programming physics. You give it a funny name if you want in the comment section. Physics is their version is saying that you cannot travel like this fast from point to point because of G-forces that'll actually damage your body, and that's true. That's very true. Your body's resonating. This torus field is a body as well. This could be a person. Stick figure, just for time's sake, and for your sake with my drawing. A stick figure, that you have a torus field around you, and you are resonating in the ether and the scalar waves. That's why we're held down by gravity. So, if a person was in a craft moving from here to this one to down to here fast, your body is gripping the ether and it's taking it with it and it's attached to it, so it literally would break your body apart if you went that fast to some of these ships that the government will admit. They already have posted videos of drones doing amazing things, and I don't know what they claimed it really was, but they were, from what I've heard, they were actually drones that the military uses for training. The military has known about this technology because it's in the ancient Vedas. 6,000 years ago, at least it's what I've heard in the Vedic texts, that there were vimanas, crafts that would tie into this ether, so it'd be like a really big ship. I'm gonna do like a pyramid, but I didn't bring anything here to stand on to get it to the top of the board. This board's pretty tall. So it'd be like a big ship. I mean, I'm not looking at a picture of a Vimana right now, but I'm just giving you some kind of general outline to give you an idea of everything works with this torus field. So if you're trying a Vimana 6,000 years ago in the Vedic texts, And there are diagrams and there are explanations showing that, this is real. It has happened. And you could look at the way they made it and designed it. It would work. It does work. So the government's known about this. People have known about this worldwide. I don't think they ever stopped knowing about it, but they tried to program the masses to not know this so we can be sold rocket technology and jet technology and keep us dumbed down. So it's up to us to take accountability for our actions, our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions, and earn the knowledge back. We have a right to it. It's our technology. So this Vimana is locked also into the scalar waves, and it can move, but when it locks, it actually creates a field around it that can isolate itself. So it's a different frequency on the outside of this, ship. That's actually, I drew that from a picture of what actually takes place with two magnets coming together before they, this is actually repelling each other. So you'd see as the magnetic lines are spiraling out, they're locking each other off, which is exactly what happens with this ship. Its magnetic field, its torus field around it, and then when it connects, so this would be the ether here. This would be the barrier. This is ether over here. I mean, there's ether everywhere technically, but this would be the outside of this ship's field or person, Vimana or UFO, whatever you want to call it. And it would have resonance differential between the ether here and the ship, which then makes it move like zero viscosity. So imagine, how do I even put this? It's literally like you're disconnecting from the ether. You're temporarily, imagine, so fish out of water. If you're playing Marco Polo in the pool, you could move on the outside of the water a lot faster and jump back in the pool, and then the person's going to try to find you. So it's like literally getting out of the water, the density of the ether that's in the atmosphere that we live in today, separating yourself temporarily in a bubble and zipping across to another spot. A lot easier than, say, a jet would that's actually flying, or a person swimming in the pool versus you running outside on land. You can get ahead of them a lot faster. I'm saying this because I'm relating to it, because as a kid we used to play that a lot in our pool. But that's kind of like how it is. It's this ship that's in ether normally. Once it reaches a certain vibration, a certain frequency, it elevates its vibration, it can then unlock and zip from place to place to place. It can come in and through all these harmonics, 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever the harmonic level is. Don't pay attention to the numbers. This is just for conversation's sake. So it can literally zip through the numbers. And that's basically, very, very basically how these ships work, and how we're being, they're going to be coming out in the public very soon. They've been. I mean, people have been talking about UFOs and aliens and all kinds of stuff, but I mean, technically the technology's always been here. Vimana's 6,000 years ago, but it goes way farther back than that. We've always known we are vibration, but we are source-driven vibration. Source, the creation, the creator, all is emanating from this point, this vibration into this ether through consciousness. And we are using our consciousness to manifest, and how we behave with it is, how we work with the feedback that we get by what we project out is how we resonate. So if you're projecting out love all the time, you'll be getting love back. Yes, you get your lessons that you set up in your life, so you may have some, you'll definitely have hardships, we all do. But you show them love and you can work through them as planned. You plan to come through here and work through certain trials and tribulations. And then, it could be very easy, or, it could be rewarding yet difficult, or it can be extremely excruciating and hard, depending on how you resonate. If you're fighting it, you're going to be fighting all the waters around you, the ether around you. But if you're resonating higher with love, you are almost unlocking, and you're swimming through that ether much easier. That's how I see it. That's what else could we compare in this? Yeah, I mean, it's how magnets work. It's how the human body works. It's how atoms work. It's how, Vimanas and UFOs today work. But once you unlock that information, it's you know that you are source-driven love, and everything works off of it. You can take control of your life and do the best you can if you choose. What else do we want to talk about here? Even water. Water looks like this. Water has a torus field. A Milky Way galaxy. Kind of looks like a tree with a big heartbeat. Could be if I went like this. Okay, no Bob Ross for you guys here. But essentially, everything's got a torus field around it. Or a magnetic field. I've posted videos about this before, and I'll do some more with my ferrocell showing you visually this. The magnetic field. See? It literally, this would be say this was one magnet ending here. This is the dielectric plane, so this side of the magnet would have things spiraling off of it the opposite direction. One side's masculine, one side's feminine. If this side's spinning up this way, this one's going to go down this way. And it's spiraling, spiraling out. My hands going to go that way and spiraling up. And that's how we work. That's how Vimanas work. That's how atoms work. And pretty much everything else, as far as I'm concerned. But I'm learning with you guys, so I love to hear your feedback. Love you all. Be well.